I chose to capture the beauty and essence of rural living through this lovely white country style church in Reelsboro, North Carolina. Churches often define rural communities by being the source of strength, encouragement, and faith. Broad Creek Christian Church on Highway 55 in Pamlico County is the epitome of what church means to a rural community. This beautiful white church, nestled against a forest of Carolina pine trees, reminded me of my great grandmother's church, Bethel United Methodist Church, located in the foothills of eastern Kentucky. Families come together at BCCC to nurture, grow in faith, learn, teach, and build lifelong relationships with members of their home community. As stated in the PowerPoint for Chapter 6, the role of the church in a rural community is an integral aspect of rural culture. Rural residents depend on one another in rural communities for spiritual, educational, social, political, and economic resources, which can be found inside the doors of the local community church. According to the studies found in the text, rural residents who actively participate in church life often achieve greater social status and a sense of belonging within the community. The role of the clergyman within rural churches often mirror the role of a therapist. Pamlico County sits along the Pamlico Sound, also part of the micropolitan statistical area of New Bern, North Carolina, in eastern North Carolina, with a population of 13,144 residents, according to the 2010 census. Economic development and agriculture have been rooted in the lives of most rural North Carolinians since before the 20th century. According to a compilation of research and interpretation editorials, The Way We Lived in North Carolina, edited by Joe A. Mobley, the 1900s brought about an economic shift with the development of large industries and rapid urban growth, yet the majority of North Carolina remained rural. The photograph of these silos in Pamlico County, North Carolina, reminded me of the importance of rural economics and the impact this industry has on North Carolina as a whole. As with many rural communities, Pamlico County relies on its agricultural industries for survival. Farming can often add extra stress to families during farming season. A local farmer shared with me that his workday starts before sunrise and ends well after dark. He said his evenings mostly consist of sharing a few moments with his wife and family. After spending time with his family, he tucks his 3 children into bed. This type of lifestyle, while necessary for successful crops, often presents with challenges within the family. Finding help often stops at the door of the local community church. The stigma with seeking can be as damaging to a family as a dry crop season. More often, mental health services are not utilized. Rural living often presents with what many consider grave challenges, such as 2-lane dirt roads. This picture depicts a very common sight, having grown up in the mountains of southwest Virginia, where the roads were paved with dirt and the fields laden with grains and tobacco. The line that divides the pavement from the dirt gravel road reminds me of the fine line that lies between the culture of rural and urban living. Hard work, dedication to family, close-knit communities are but a few of the perks of living in a rural community. One rural resident, Mrs. Maggie, reminisced of days gone by that children ran barefoot playing outside until sundown. As we talked, the sound of feet pattering and laughter grabbed our attention as 4 young children raced around us, playing a game of tag. The irony of the moment was almost met with tears as Mrs. Maggie looked on with a heartfelt smile. It was clear the love she has for her community and its members. When asked about opportunities such as mental health care and therapeutic services offered, she smiled and said, "Anytime somebody needs to talk, they just come sit with me for a while on my porch. We have a sip of tea and talk until their worries are no more." And that is my rendition of living life in rural Pamlico County.